Hello everyone, welcome to another stream. It is just me today, and what I'm going to be doing is sorting through some minifig parts. So, I will say hello to everyone in just a moment, but we ordered months ago tons and tons and tons of minifigs. Unfortunately, a lot of them are city minifigs and stuff, but what I was doing a few months ago was trying to figure out what, if this was a real minifig, if this was not a real minifig. Should we sell it as a minifig? Should we sell it as parts? Finally just decided, I think I went through everything and I was like, there were a lot of CMFs that we pulled out and we listed and everything, but I finally kind of just decided, hey, I'm going to part out or piece, part out every minifig that's in there. I went through and all the higher value ones that were clearly real minifigs, that were a Lego put together fig, we listed, and finally, the other day, what's today? Say Saturday, so it must have been on like Thursday. I was in here and I spent a few hours going through bins. So the kind of normal bins we use, which are like, I guess this size. I mean, excluding what's in the bin, but 3 bins of these. So we had a full bin of legs, a full bin of torsos, which I haven't gone through yet. And then there's more than, or about half a bin of heads. There's over half a bin of accessories, hats, all that kind of stuff. And I just sorted it all out. And it took so much longer than I expected it to. So much longer. But now I'm at a point where I sorted these by color, and I think I realized I did it wrong now because the hip color are not the same. That's not how I sorted these. I just sorted by leg color, which I'm pretty sure was the wrong way to do it, but it is what it is. So these are all sorted by color now, and then some of these still have printing on them, so I'm not going to add I will eventually, but the ones that have printing I will, at least for now, put aside, and then I'm just going to list the ones currently that are just plain legs, and then all the printing and stuff I will add after I get through all the plain legs, which apparently in sand blue there are only 2 pieces that are printed, which is cool. Okay, let's say hello to everyone because there are a decent amount of people here who I have not seen in a few weeks. I feel like I haven't streamed in like maybe 3 weeks. I think the last stream I did was with Paul. We were doing the KFC like taste test where we tried, not the whole menu, but the whole menu, like a little bit of everything. So Funberg Creations is here. Welcome. Gizmo's here. Doug, welcome. Dunder Mifflin Brick Code, Just Bricks. Jack Wilkinson, welcome back. Build a Brick, hello. Fidel, if I didn't say already. Fidel, welcome. Yeah, hopefully you guys are all doing well today. Okay, let me actually read some of the chat now, as opposed to just saying hello to your names. Funberg Creations is at 250 subscribers. Very, very good. Congratulations. Doug also went and subscribed, so did Gizmo. Very cool. Just Brick says, just got my most recent order of drawer units in 3 out of 7. Oh, 3 of 7. That's pretty bad. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I saw your pictures in Discord and just replied right before this. It's always a bummer when you're like excited and your drawers and stuff are coming, and then they end up being broken. Actually, right now out front there are 3 massive boxes of Acro-mills units. So I don't know if you guys were in, or if you're in the Discord, you may have seen the announcement the other day, 2 days ago I think, or 3 days ago maybe now, that Acros were on sale. They were back to $40 as opposed to like the 70 whatever. And we're at a point where we needed Acros again, so it was like, okay, cool, we're just going to buy like 18 of them, I think is what we ended up doing, because you could only buy 6 per account, and so Paul on his account bought them, I on my account bought them, and then Just a Brick in the Bucket on the business account bought them. Turns out on the business account we also got another discount because we were buying multiples of them. So we bought 6, and then it ended up being like $37 with that multi-whatever discount, but nowhere near the $24 that initially, pieces were, or not pieces, Acros were coming into the store. But so we can easily fill up the rest of that wall now, no problem. We can also start the floating wall that will now create what will be our second aisle on that side of the garage. So very exciting. Lots of Acros coming in, very cool. So far, the 6 I opened, or no, I only opened, oh no, I opened 6. The 6 I opened so far have not yet been broken. They're all good. And then there's 3 boxes out front. I guess the other 12 are out there. Fingers crossed, hopefully those are not broken. But I'm sorry to hear that your bins or your drawers are broken. Just Bricks is very, very sad. we've had that happen with the Acros, and then it's like, oh, okay, and then you got to return it, and it's a whole thing. Buildbrick says, big hello from Little NZ, New Zealand, down on the bottom of the globe. Love tuning into this channel. Their vlogs have inspired my own vlogs. Keep up the hustle. Very cool. That is very, very awesome. Thank you for tuning in and for checking it out. Oh, 4 of 7 now. That's a bummer. That's very bad. Chris says, I remember when they were just 15. I never saw them when they were 15. The lowest we've seen them at, like... Oh, actually, when I bought them in 2015, when I initially started this, I have no clue what they were then. But I'm sure they were cheaper. I wonder if they were like 15 then. That's crazy. That is like ridiculous that they were that cheap at one point. Yeah, very crazy. Doug says, hey there, Fidel. I plan on finally opening your box. I will make it a haul number 350. Very cool, Doug. And Fidel says, that's great. I'll be waiting. 15 bucks. That's awesome. Build Brick says, I love building walls. Would you like to come build our wall? Because I am no longer in the building mood. I'm just tired currently. David, welcome to the stream. How are you? Chris said 2018. Okay, so then I guess when I bought him, because I started initially in 2015 is when, no, wait a second. 2014 is when I joined BrickLink, so it must have been 2014. I imagine they were probably 15 bucks then, or whatever. I'm sure they were not 40. I know they were not 40. That's crazy. I should have bought so many. That was an investment that would have been brilliant. Just buy like 5,000 Acro units at $15 a pop, and then by 2022, you know, turn them around for $35 each, and you're making a... All right. What else do we have on here? Nick Miss, welcome to the stream. How are you today? And Donald Beth Bricko says, yesterday I couldn't figure out why Brickstore wouldn't let me part out the minifigs from a Speed Champion set. Now I just realized the set is new enough that they're not even inventoried yet. Oh, interesting. Cool. Funbrick Creation says, for me, the drawers are about 50 to 60 Australian dollars. Interesting. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I don't know the conversion rate between US dollar and many other currencies, actually, just to be, not just Australian. Chris says, I've never seen inflation like we were seeing today. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't either. Obviously, I'm not very old, but exciting. Everything's getting more expensive now. Not cool. Not cool. All right, we're gonna have to start with the trash cup, unfortunately, like bite marks and stuff, because that ain't gonna sell, or it'll sell and someone will be upset. So yeah, for those of you who are just joining in, I have over the past, or can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday that I did this, but I had gone through and completely, we had probably thousands maybe of minifigs, and I went through and I pulled them all apart. I'd already gone through over the course of the last few months and added minifigs that are, you know, CMFs and all that kind of the normal stuff where it's like, oh, this is a minifig, this will sell as a minifig, versus all these city kind of parts, or figs that were just like maybe Chima legs on a city torso with like a Star Wars head. It's like all these things that were not a thing. So parted out completely, sorted them all out. This is just the legs I'm working with here. We got another bin full of torsos, completely full. Little over half a bin of heads, and then about half a bin or so of hats, helmets, wearable accessories and stuff. So very exciting. So now these have all been color sorted by leg color, which was wrong. I should have done the hip color, but now I'm just going to check for quality and stuff, and then I'm going to count them, and we're going to add them to a file and get them in the inventory because we don't have a whole lot of minifig parts, and I know that they, in theory, will sell. Hopefully. That would be the goal, at least. Okay, so we need to get some legs up here. And these are all used. None of these are new. But yeah. Build-A-Brick says we have a different kind of drawers. But most recently we purchased drawers from another fellow BrickLink seller that closed down, so we got them super cheap. That is cool. That is good. We've been... I searched Lego on Brick Store. Brilliant. Legs. We've been looking for stores that are shutting down, not even with the intention of really buying the store pieces and everything, but just like, can we get Acros or any storage things at a much cheaper price than whatever. But we decided the other day when we saw it was dropped to 40, let's dark gray hips. We decided let's go buy all the Acros. So we will be good now for a couple months, and we can wait again until it drops down to 40 again at some point. I assume it will. It kind of keeps fluctuating. That morning, actually, I had looked at Amazon, and it was still 70 or whatever, and then I came in the garage, and that day Paul and I were talking, and I was like, let's just, I'll make it... We were looking at other brands and stuff, and the downside of the other brands is they're not the same exact size. The drawers aren't going to stack with the Acro drawers. It kind of slightly, to an extent, changes a little bit, It wasn't going to be a problem, and we were looking at other brands and figuring, like, okay, that might be the way to go. And then sand blue legs, but this also has sand blue hips. I'm confused. I had actually come in the store, and we were talking, and we were trying to find other things, and then I was like, let's just stick with Acros, and I will be sure to check Amazon every single day, every morning when I wake up. And then I pulled out Amazon because I was going to look at the drop list thing that I have, like the Honey, I think it's Honey or whatever. It's one of the plugins and it shows you like the price history and stuff. And based on that, it was like, okay, well, the pricing, there have been multiple times in the past 30 days that it's dropped down to 40. So we just need to expect that at some point it will drop down to 40. But my intention was to pull up that thing. But when I went to the Acros, they were 40. Like literally just a couple hours after I had checked, and I was like telling Paul, oh, they're still 70 bucks or whatever. And then we were like, okay, let's buy a ton of them. We don't need to buy like 1,000 of them or whatever, but let's buy 18. They're all 64 count drawer units. So we bought 1,152 drawers, and then we still have, I think, like 6 or 8 or something like that of the 24 count units that are also in storage that are not used. So we're gonna be good on drawers now for a little bit, and I went on a very long time for drawers. Fidel says the drawers I get are holding in around 31 US dollars. Still, I haven't opened the one I panic bought when they began raising prices. You know what? That's the thing I've kind of been worried about, is what if I, like the Acros, kind of like Just Bricks experienced, what if I just like not throw it in storage, but put it in storage, and then like don't open it, don't check it, and then in 2 months or 3 months or whenever we need it, we pull it out and they're broken. So now I'm going to make it a thing to check every drawer, and then we'll put it back in the box, and then it goes to storage until we're ready to build this wall. Very sad. Looks like I'm on Amazon right now. The 2 packs of 64 and 24 are only $63. Very nice. Yeah. The problem is we do not use anywhere near a 1-to-1 ratio of 24 drawer to 64 drawer. But that at that price, they're $31.50 each, which is very good. So can't really complain there. That's pretty nice. But that's why we ended up having so many extra of the 24 count units, because those 2 packs from a while ago we had purchased, and we just don't use a 1-to-1 of the 24 unit versus that 64 unit. So yeah. Okay, let me go back a little bit. David says, what is your reach looking like? Couldn't tell you right now, to be totally honest. I was not in the store. You know what? I could just figure it out real quick. I don't even know where our piece count and lot count's at. All I know is sales are up, so that's good. Let me figure out what our piece count and the lot count is. So piece count, we're up a little bit, 252,131 items. Lot count is down though, 12,863 lots. So my assumption would be the reach from whatever we discussed the other day, David, or a couple weeks ago, has not changed much. Actually, I don't know, because we haven't added used. I mean new. We have not added new, so there wouldn't be any doubles of lots in the inventory. I don't know. Maybe it has increased a little bit. I could do it. I just have to open up a new brick store file. So essentially, let me explain reach, because it sounds like, or looks like there's a couple people who don't quite understand it, or don't know what it is. And it's a new thing that David kind of came up with. There's a couple concepts where you obviously have your piece count and you have your lot count. But David thinks there's actually a third little factor there, where something he has called reach. So you have your piece count, obviously that's whatever that is. Your lot count, if you consolidate, that's going to be smaller than if you don't consolidate. But at the end of the day, the consolidated number is all that actually matters in relation to a wanted list. But David came up with this concept where there's a theory of like reach versus lot count. You think lot count is what you're actually like showing to the buyer and stuff, because you're showing that, or you're showing all the variety. But when a buyer's looking for new versus used, or they're looking for a 2x2 sand blue plate, they may not be looking for new and or used. They might just, or might not be looking for one of them specifically. So theoretically, that's two separate lots. That's sand blue 2x2 plate that's new, sand blue 2x2 plate that is used. But the buyer, when looking at that, is only going to look for one of them. They're not looking to buy both new and used, most likely. So those two lots, which would be your consolidated lot count, may not actually be what your true lot count, which is why David has called it reach, because you're not going to send these two lots to that person and say, hey, which, do you want both of these? They're only probably going to pick one unless they need the quantity and you only have half in each thing. So the lot, or the reach concept is yeah, I think Chris said I get it. But yeah, the reach concept is like a cool thing where it's like, if you have new and you have used of the same piece, you can kind of consolidate them together and get one number from that. So your reach is actually smaller than your lot count, which is kind of a cool concept, and it's not something I'd really thought about. And especially for wanted list people, it doesn't matter if it's new or used, unless they select like they only want new. But I think, I'm sure some people do that. I don't know actually, but I'm sure that's pretty hard. I think Siri's talking to me from the iPad over there, or somewhere, but I don't think it's my phone. Okay, let's. Can you name the top 5 countries to start a BrickLink store? I don't know exactly what you're asking. Can you elaborate a little bit on that question? But probably not. I don't know. Thunder Mifflin says, I bought 3 of the 2-packs and 4 of the 64 count units. I should be good for a long while now. My UPS guy is my UPS guy officially hates me. Yeah, I feel bad for the Amazon. We have the drivers that work for Amazon that deliver here, but like, I do feel bad because it's like these just massive boxes, and then, yeah, it's kind of dumb. Buildbrick says the drawers over here almost never go on sale. It can be very expensive. Yes. And Vincent says, so reach is types of pieces. Essentially, yeah. Yeah, piece type. But also color. You have to factor in the color as well, but not condition. So if you exclude condition, that's essentially your reach. JustBrick says, honestly, haven't even taken the time to check my consolidated lot count. I'd rather add more parts and let the numbers sort themselves out. And David says, studs are coming back. Color sorted this weekend. If I get them in the 1x plates up, I should be up like 35,000 parts in a day. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's what we did. It wasn't 35 in a day. It was like 12,000 or something when one of our catalogers just took a small bin home of actually they were all 1x1. There's 1x1 solid, regular 1x1 like square plates, and then 1x1 round plates. And just a small bin like this. And it was like 12,000 something pieces or something crazy. So 35,000 is very, very good. So it looks like I started a store in Belgium, and I'm starting to feel that the sales are not that good. They're just constant the whole time. Yeah, I would say if you have constant sales, that's actually a good thing. How big is your store, though? Because that might be an important question. And Just Brick says all his packages keep getting delivered to the downstore neighbors because they don't want to go up those stairs. That's what it is. Okay, I need to figure out how exactly I'm supposed to add sand blue legs with sand blue hips. Am I just like stupid? Sand blue legs and sand blue hips, 16 of them. Doesn't have a picture, but I will add it. Does anyone have the part number for hips that are sand blue with sand blue legs? I have 970C55, but that doesn't seem right. Oh, look up monochrome legs because BrickLink changed the way legs are listed. Of course. Minifig legs. Okay, there it is. Thank you, David. So that's actually what I will just be adding now completely until I get to the what? Now I'm confused. David said BrickLink changed the way legs are listed, and then Dundermiffin said you'll add those under monochrome. David said don't add it. What do you mean don't add it? It's like a thing now. There's a picture. I'm super confused. What am I doing wrong, David? I don't get it. Okay, so I'm just gonna do all monochrome for now. I will deal with the other fun stuff later. Vincent says, is the BrickLink market saturated now since COVID? I think there is a lot more, I would say yes. Yes. I don't know if it's oversaturated, but it's significantly more saturated than before COVID. And I think that's because a lot of people obviously found an opportunity with being at home, and some people getting like unemployment checks and all these different things where they could start a BrickLink type store and make money from home, you know, with I think what a lot of people thought was minimal work initially. I would argue though that we're headed towards the end of maybe, why do these not line up? Maybe that little jump where there was a lot of extra stores. I think people are starting to realize it's so much work. Maybe they're closing down, or they're selling off their store, or they're not going to continue to add like they were initially. So I would say, yes, it was super saturated, and probably still is. But the benefit to that, I think, is also that the buyer marketplace has grown. There's more people buying on BrickLink. But it is, yes, theoretically there's a lot more competition. But I think it's starting to ease out. Stream title has a typo? Probably. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds right. Good catch. What is it? Let me go edit it real quick. Ah, Minify. I don't have a keyboard over here. 1 second. Yeah, minifig is not a word, of course. Okay. Sorts minifig parts and talks with all of you. Save. Okay. Now, if you want the title fixed, you can refresh the page and you'll be good. Okay. No cracks in these legs. Except that one. So now I can just add these in orange. Ah, very nice. Okay, cool. What else do we have in chat here? Dunner Mifflin says, those always throw me off because even if you color lock it, it won't display the color you locked on. So I always look right past it. Still confused as to what the don't add it was for, David. Just Brick says, I glued the cracked pieces back together on the broken unit. Hopefully they stay together. The units take me to 2,142 drawers. Nice. Vincent says, have you noticed the price decreasing because many BrickLink stores are closing? No, I have not. I don't know. We also don't. We've only been increasing our prices over the past few months now, like gradually continuing to go up. So even if the prices were decreasing in like a 6-month sales average type of thing, our prices are still going up. So no, I have not seen a difference. I have not been paying attention. I haven't, looked at the sales month or the 6-month sales average stuff very closely. So I'm not sure, actually. Who knows? Maybe it has been decreasing. Build-A-Brick says, Evan, have you noticed an increase in stores opening in the last 12 months? I don't know about the last 12 months. I would definitely say the past 24 months. 100%. Specifically 2020 into maybe early 2021. But I think 2020 was a really big year for a lot of BrickLink stores opening. I'm sure there's information on BrickLink on this, like a page that says how many stores there are. You could probably take a look at that. Someone in here, I'm sure knows what that page is, but I'm pretty sure there's something that has a total number of stores. And you can probably look at the history of like how it's been increasing or something. Oh wow, Just Brick says I was at 988 drawers, so 1,000 drawers, and you've doubled it now since you've moved in. Very nice. That's very cool. Yeah, hopefully the glue holds, or they at least replace it for you. That would be ideal, obviously. Just Brick says I have 16 shoe bins. David has 140. R Shark Productions, welcome to the stream. How are you? And DJ Anderson says, I just uploaded my 100,000th part to the store. Congratulations, that's pretty awesome. That was a big milestone. It's a big number. Very nice, very nice. Congratulations. We are still slowly reaching for that 300,000 pieces. But we are not there yet. Daniel, welcome to the stream. How are you today? Okay, I'm just going to, I've added 2 things to the VSX file so far. What a productive start. What are you guys doing while you are watching? Because I rarely actually just watch a stream. And I've definitely, I know I've mentioned this before, but like I feel like most of you are doing something on the side, and you're kind of listening a little bit in the background. So what are you all doing? Okay, let's see. Oh, very nice. SJC is unpacking a Uline order. What did you get from Uline? I love Uline. So much fun. What do you get from Uline? Fidel says, what % of your sales are domestic versus international? We are doing about 95% of our sales domestic and about 5% international. That fluctuates month to month, but that seems to be a kind of consistent thing. Yeah. Chris says the reach is 28,349. That is phenomenal. Like, really, really good. Yeah, SJC, I want to know what you're unpacking. What is your reaction to switching to selling a lot of used? I'm just making a switch for my store, still selling new, but adding a lot more used and focusing on used. It has seriously increased the growth of the store and the customer base we're able to build and all that kind of stuff just because of the variety that we can now offer. you cannot, simply put, you cannot get that variety with new alone. It is impossible. Because Lego's only manufacturing so many parts. There's a significant amount more labor involved in used. And that's why initially when we were looking at used, it was like, oh, it's a lot of work. And it is a lot of work, but we also were like, okay, but you can buy it for so much cheaper. So we thought, well, if we buy it for a lot cheaper and stuff, then in theory, that should be higher profit at the end. And we've actually found that, and we've adjusted with the supplier we were buying from and all these things now, so the profit has increased slightly on used as it used to be, but used is not, like we thought used would be drastically more profitable than new. It's actually not necessarily. It's just, it's hard to find consistent new source at a quantity that makes sense, and then to get that variety. So, so that's why we thought, you know, the best thing to do is going to be to diversify it with used. I don't mind used. I think it's fun. It's kind of interesting to see the lot count go up and find the pieces that are like, whoa, that's a cool piece. I haven't seen that. Or like, oh, I remember this from when I had this set, and they don't make it anymore. So there's definitely all that kind of stuff that you don't get with new. You know, new is very straightforward. You open the bag, you pour out the pieces, you sort them, and you add them to the store. To an extent, I would say you can't do that wrong. You definitely can, but like it's a very basic process. Whereas used is, you know, you have to find what that piece is. You have to upload that piece to BrickLink individually. You have to sort, you know, tons or how many pounds you're buying, I guess, of Lego into categories or however you want to do it. I guess you don't have to do categories, but it definitely has a significantly more like thought out workflow, whereas new is one of the more basic things you can pick it up. Not hard at all, I don't think. Okay, 5. All right, we got 32 dark tan. Bam. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Printing out a friend set. I forgot I asked you guys what you're doing. I'm trying to organize these units on my new drawer here. Very cool. Oh, JustBrick hasn't opened. Says, I haven't opened my store for international orders yet. Scares me. We have had no problems, except for one at the very beginning of COVID, where the country was not accepting mail, so we ended up getting it back. We just refunded him. It wasn't a big problem. But other than that, you know, knock on wood, there's whatever. But there's been no problems with international for us. We don't get a ton of international because it's so expensive to ship, and like it just, most people don't want to pay that. But yeah, it's I don't know. I would say don't be afraid of international. Just understand that it takes a long time to get there, and it's significantly more expensive to ship. We only invoice international. We don't have like a checkout that they can just do instant checkout, and that's kind of saved us, I think, a little bit, which is nice. David is only 11,000 behind Chris in terms of reach. Very nice. Daniel says, am I the only one, or yes, I am the only one who's not using drawers. Interesting. Are you just using shoeboxes and stuff? Or using the cases that like open? Build a Brick says, we ship international but noticed a lot of delays. It's frustrating. Yeah, it takes a long time. Again, fortunately, we've had nothing go missing or anything, but it takes weeks usually to get things from one place to another. Used is a great thing, and they really need to even think... Wait a second. Used is a great thing and is really needed to even think about full-time. I agree with that used is a great thing. I would disagree, though, that in order to do it full-time, you need to do used. I think some people, there are much, much, much bigger stores, and I'm not sure exactly how they get all their supply, but there are some massive stores that focus mostly on new. But yes, I would definitely say the easier way to get to a full-time place is going to be going the used direction. We found, and I think it's something I really want to continue to do, is try to balance new and used. Super hard to do right now because we're spending all this money trying to bring in used and add more catalogers and contractors and all these things, and then the new is like kind of rarely on sale here. So it's a weird balance, but I really want to try to continue to do both. But we'll see. Just Brick says new is more frustrating. Used is more fun. I would... Interesting. I don't think new is frustrating whatsoever. It's like such a forward-facing process. You can't really... Like, I mean, you can mess it up, but I just don't think you can. Donovan from Brickco, perfect a thing here. New is great for quality. Sorry, that was incorrect. New is great for quantity and quality, I guess, because it's new. And used is great for variety. That is very true. And that variety is what's going to get more people to your store. And then if you happen to have new, you know, maybe people are going to be like, oh, I'll get the new piece because it's whatever. But, you know, I think, personally, I like doing both. Chris says, why do you not put those directly into a drawer? Save a step and time to do it later. Yeah, that's true. Should I just put a drawer in the remark thing? I'll just scan them into a drawer after I add them all to the file real quick. I don't think it's going to be that much slower. But I don't think we have any of these legs, so it's not. We don't have to compare anything. Build-A-Brick says, I remember your original post was to get to 1 million parts. Is that still your major goal for the store, or have you pivoted to now knowing just how much work it will take? I don't know what the goal is anymore. Yeah, when we started with new, it was like 1 million pieces because the lot count to us, for whatever reason, didn't matter whatsoever. So 1 million parts was like the goal we wanted to get there, and I would say that's still a direction we're headed towards. I don't think I would want to stop before 1 million parts, but I don't know how... I don't know exactly what the pathway to get to that goal is anymore, because I don't think that's truly the motivation for growing the stores to get to 1 million parts. I think now, like for the end of March, we want to be at 15,000 lots, 300,000 parts. So as we set these smaller goals, that's great, but I don't know that 1 million isn't any longer that like big thing where it's like we have to get there. But it's still something we're looking to do. My personal plan, I'm pretty sure Paul's on the same boat as me, is not to stop before we get to 1 million parts, unless it just becomes too out of hand and we can only have, you know, 750,000 parts or something, and that's perfect and it's maintaining itself. And you know, if it all falls into place and we don't hit 1 million, it's not. We're not going to kill ourselves to get there. David says because they need to consolidate. I actually wasn't even going to run this through because I know we don't have used legs, but yeah, we might. Is it much quicker, do you think, to type the remark in as I click the add button to put it in the sheet? If it is, I could just do that, I guess. I was just thinking it'd be quicker to like scan and then click the down arrow and then scan and click down and scan and click down. But maybe not. I don't know. Soulflame, welcome to the stream. How are you? Dunder Mifflin Brickhouse says the only problem with used is it isn't scalable without hiring employees. Doing new, you can add a lot of parts for yourself and you can grow without hiring people. Yeah, until you hit some point. I would say though, yeah, with new, or I mean with used, that's the supply is a lot cheaper and the profit, you know, in theory is higher, but there's so many more expenses. So your net profit at the end is not actually higher because there are so many labor things and all these things you have to do in the middle. Yeah. But yeah, if you do it alone, it's harder for used for sure. Whereas new, it's a simpler process. I think it's Yorick says, hi Evan, greetings from the Netherlands, love the show. Started in mid-2020 and I'm now at 120,000 items, or 128,000 items, 11.5 thousand lots, and 1.7 thousand orders. Used only. You, Ralph, and Pops are my biggest inspirations. Thank you. Congratulations. Very nice. 1.7 thousand orders, 1,700 orders, very good. Used only is pretty cool. That's something I'm curious, like if we started with used only, like if we'd be much, like I'm curious because we haven't even done used for a year yet, which is kind of crazy to think about. What is it, like, we're at like 8 months now? 8 months? Yeah, about 8 months that we've been doing used, and only maybe 5 of those months have like actually been like really actually have other people working for us and all that kind of stuff, whereas the first month and a half, 2 months, we were just kind of like floating around trying to figure out how we're going to do it and stuff. So yeah. But you've done used only. I'm curious if we started with used only. you know, what would be the case. David says, I get my new lots from sealed bags. Way better to sort, way better than new set part out because it's not parts that would traditionally be clearanced. Oh, I see. Yeah, I agree with you, Build-A-Brick, who says, I feel like having new and used has pros and cons to each of them. I like having a balance of both. Me too. Yeah, so Chris here brings up another thing with the 1 million parts thing. He says you don't need to have 1 million parts to have a high volume of sales, which is exactly why it's like, you know, it's a goal, I guess, to hit 1 million parts, but that initially was our goal because we were only focusing on piece count, and it seemed like a very not very attainable, but like a thing that just kind of made sense in terms of like, oh, we're already at 100,000 parts. We'll set a goal for 1 million. But yeah, like Chris said, if we don't get to 1 million, and like I said earlier, if we only get to 750,000 or whatever number, it doesn't even matter. And we're like, you know what, the business is perfect. It's managing itself. We're each taking a paycheck. We can pay all our employees and stuff, pay rent, whatever. And we just feel like it's in a good place. We're not going to kill ourselves to get to that 1 million goal if we're doing fine as is. But I would think, you know, my goal would be to get to 1 million, but that's just a random thing, I guess. Just Brick says, I want to go through all my new sets I haven't parted out yet. Still have a few left. I saw one of your story things that's like you were walking around and you showed all your shorts is what it's called, I think, on YouTube. But you had all your sets that were like still not parted out yet. David says, I'd rather sell 1 million parts than have 1 million parts for sale. That is true. Should we, if we wanted to, we could shut down the store, get to 1 million parts. But no, that's a big thing as well. Sell 1 million parts. Says, I'm not in the storage business. Exactly. Soulflame says, I'm great. How about you? I'm doing well. Chris says, once we have our drawer full, we increase our sell-through to keep the order flowing. What exactly does that mean? Oh, once we have all of our drawers full. Sorry, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, gotcha, okay. I thought you just meant once you fill up one drawer. I'm like, do you like adjust things on that one drawer to make sure it moves? Gotcha, okay. Once you have all your drawers full, we will increase. This is all, I missed a few words in there that were very important. Gotcha, okay. Soulflame says, with used, it also depends on what you buy as well. If the Legos are not clean, it's less work. I guess if you know that the person you got them from, like, cleaned them before you get them, but even if they're clean, unless I know they were cleaned before they were handed us, I'd still probably wash them. That's the thing too. It's like when you get the, not only, you have to source new and used, and I think regardless of which one you're sourcing, there's work involved in that, and it's probably somewhat similar depending on what scale you're at. But then you have to like wash the used, and then it it gets sorted by someone else. Then it comes back and it sits a little bit so that you can pile up enough of one category to give to another person. There's always like this little balance of like kind of a backlog type thing in between each level of like something happening, because you're trying to build up enough where it makes financial sense for you and the person you're giving it to for them to make money off of it. So I would say with new, with used, there's like a lot more involved for sure. Whereas with new, you can literally just go to the store right now, buy a set, come here, pour out the bags, put them in drawers, sign remarks, put them on the wall. It's a much, much easier process. The thing there is like the margins are less, but the expenses to get those on the wall is a lot less as well, so who knows. Bilderberg says, do you feel like you will outgrow your garage soon? We're always adding and feel like that space is now becoming an issue. We will eventually outgrow the garage. I don't think it'll be any time in the next few weeks or months. We still have a little while in here for sure, so we're okay. David says, I discounted all my lots over 90 days old that were above $15. Got about $100 in sales from those items since I did that 2 days ago. Interesting. Chris said we're going to expand. We are not going to expand our current space again. If needed, I have a 10,000 square foot warehouse to move to, maybe in 8 years. York says used only is for me by choice. Only have a room around 12 by 24 feet. And have no room for used and new. That's the thing. And some people do this in a different way. I know, Chris, I think you still have you have a new section, and then you have the rest of your inventory, which is used, and you pick all the new first or something like that. I don't know if you've changed it since I've last seen how you do it, but we don't do that. We just have new and used. It's all mixed together. It's not mixed together in the same drawer, but like I don't have any problem with the concept that, you know, one drawer is used and the one right next to it is new pieces. So in terms of space, I don't think, you know, I don't know. Some people care, some don't. Chris said our new row is getting expanded. For starting sellers, used is more interesting since a new store selling new will offer the same clearance parts as the bigger stores. That's true as well. With new, you're probably not buying all the new sets that are out there. You're buying the ones that are cheapest and are on sale, and that's what everyone else is going to get as well. So you might have stuff sit in your inventory for a very long time. David said, Chris, did you lease with option to buy the warehouse you are in currently? Chris said, need to avoid putting all our parts on sale. It kills the brick freedom connection. I think that's what BF stands for. And yes, we will soon own the warehouse we are currently in. Very cool. Matt says, would you still sell used Lego even if you could get every single set Lego sells 40 to 50% off retail all year round? Yes, I would still sell used, 100%. Because you still cannot get the variety from new. But yes, even if we could guarantee 50% off every Lego set, we'd probably do a little more new than we're doing now, but I definitely would still have used in there for sure. I think there's definitely a place for both of them. I mean, you can obviously operate used only or new only, but I think together it's actually very good. But if you're going to choose one only, I would say used is a better option to go down. If you're going to only do one of them and you're not going to mix. Oh, Chris has to remove some used and relabel it to new. Interesting. David says, I have new columns and used columns of Acros. I feel like it makes picking conditions separately way easier. That is something Paul and I have talked about, is when we move out of here, we might separate new and used, only because it does make it easier to not accidentally put the new thing in the used bin or bag or whatever, because we pack them separate, new and used, as I think almost everyone does. We have talked about that. We're definitely not going to readjust anything in here, but we could potentially, similar to how Chris has it, have like a row of new and the rest used. That might be a thing we do. But it depends how much inventory reassignment we're going to want to do in the transition from this location to there. Like, do we just want to move the drawers and put them right back up and call it a day? Or do we want to rearrange some things? So, have not decided on that yet. And, you know, we'll see when we get there what the decision on that one is, but who knows? Chris says you need depth of parts to get orders. That's why I think you need to go with new. You need to go with used if you're going to pick only one. And you want it to be like a long-term thing, if that makes sense. Got a lot of people here watching me just do nothing and talk. SJC says, we specialize and expanded on all our Technic, Bionicle, Hero Factory, CCBS. I don't know what that is. CCBS. I don't know what that is. Etc. Girlfriend is intimidated by expanding on our used brick bins. Any advice or motivations? No. Probably not. Are you like moving out of whatever area you're in, or is just where you are is expanding slightly? If you're like moving into a new room in the house or something like that, I don't think I can help you. If you're just expanding in the same room or whatever, and you're not like taking up space that was something else that was maybe hers, I would say it's not going to be a big problem. I mean, I wouldn't think it'd be a big problem, and then, you know, hopefully your sales account for that extra little bit of space that's being taken up, but I need more details. Sorry. Interesting. It seems like a lot of people separate the new and used in two separate like areas. Yorick says, what is your opinion on stickered parts? I add everything except the bigger stickered parts. So when Paul did the decorated category a few weeks ago, or at this point, that was probably like December, I think. Sorry, my like throat is so dry. When Paul did the stickered / decorated, it was printed and stickered. He added all the decorated. He added all the printed pieces. And then when it came to stickers, we were having a somewhat hard decision to truly figure out what exactly was a high enough quality. But we decided that, you know, with a stickered piece, it's another lot in the store. It's something someone might be looking for. So, you know, stickers are never going to be applied perfectly, or rarely they're applied perfectly. But we were trying to figure out that balance of, like, it's just slightly crooked. So I don't know exactly what you mean by the bigger stickered parts. But we've added any size stickered piece as long as the sticker was not, like, 25 degrees off or something crazy, or, like, peeling or something like that. Because it does add more lots. I've actually, like, initially, right when we added those, it was like, we saw the printed pieces selling instantly. It was like, oh, printed was great. Stickered, it felt like Paul had added them, and it was just like, they're just kind of in the inventory, but no one's buying them. I've definitely seen a big variety now of stickered pieces that get pulled out and stuff, so I would say they're in demand. Some of them, I'm sure, are not at all, but I would say add the stickered pieces, even if they're larger stickered parts. Unless the sticker's really crooked or dirty or peeling up or something, and then I would say don't add it, but yeah, we definitely added stickers, and I've actually seen now, like a complete, you know, it is selling, which I can't say I expected 100% from stickers. David says stickered parts equals more reach to the customers. That is true. Denver from Brickco says, I'm about to build a second wall, and I'm definitely going to need to separate new and used. It will make packaging much easier, and I'll be able to focus on uploading one or the other depending on the open space. I think that's partially why I didn't want to divide it initially, was because I was like, well, what happens if we run out of space for the new? Do we just stop uploading new, or the other way around or whatever? So, I don't know. But very nice that you're about to build a second wall. Okay, no one's allowed to say the word anymore, or we're going to owe David a lot of money. David says, Chris says, David, can you take 2 days off and come to my store? David said, pay my travel, housing, $200 cash, then yes. Chris said, okay. And I get work too, right? 2 10-hour days. 6-hour days, David. What? SJC says, well, it's not much about the space. She's mainly concerned about the task of having so many different types versus just sticking to what we know better, like Technic and Bionicle. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a concern with the expansion. Paul and I have been talking about, you know, bringing on a lot more people to the team in a very short amount of time. And there's always that like concern where, okay, we might waste a ton of money or whatever. Not that this is a money thing relating to you, or we're going to be too overwhelmed, or we're going to spend all this money, we're going to have all these pieces coming in, and him and I can't handle it. And I'm not thinking that's probably the case, but because there's so many things just coming in, which I think is what you're looking at. Like, you focus on Technic and Bionicle right now. It's going to be more difficult for sure. Just as Paul and my job will get harder when we have, 4 catalogers coming back a week or something. What we have to do will be difficult as well. So I would say, just if you're concerned, I think that's normal. And run the numbers, look at, does it actually financially make sense? Try to figure out how much extra time you're going to have to spend. But if you've mastered, I'd say if you master Technic and Bionicle, you're fine. Unless you're like still not even confident in those, and then you're trying to add more stuff, then I'd say that's a little weird. But if you really know Technic and Bionicle and you're confident in that, then I wouldn't say there's any problem in moving other things in. Most BrickLink stores just start with everything and try to like filter it all through. Whereas for you, it sounds like you've had a focus. So maybe that concern is just going away from that focus a little bit, which I totally understand. And I would say do it, and just try and figure out why that focus, or whether or not that focus that you're going to take off of the Technic and Bionicle, whether it's going to like reduce the quality of your Technic and Bionicle. I would imagine it wouldn't, but yeah. Sorry, I don't know if that gave you any advice or anything. David and Chris, that seems fun if you guys are together and you make some videos and stuff, and that would be very cool to see. Brian says, did you stop showing your sales? Stop showing our sales. What do you mean? No, like in the sales recap videos? If you're talking about sales recap videos, we did sales recap videos. Right? Thought. We only do one of those a month, though. I'm pretty sure we released January, though. Did it not come out or something? That would suck. Last week I tried to upload a vlog. Or correction, I uploaded the vlog. And it just never posted. And then like a couple days after it was supposed to post, it then said, what did it say? It was like, could not process video or something stupid. It was like, what? Very, very weird. Did we not upload a January sales recap? No, we have to. Oh my gosh, we didn't. Thank you, Brian. I didn't know that. I didn't realize it's not here. Yeah, no, we are supposed to continue. I recorded one and it's edited. I don't even know what the heck. I wonder if the same thing happened to that. Clearly, I don't pay enough attention to what gets posted versus what doesn't get posted. That's embarrassing. Okay, well, exciting news. That will now update. When should it? That will be Monday's video, I guess. That'll come out on Monday. Yeah, it's all done. I would release it today, except I feel like just Monday. Then Monday's video is taken care of. Yeah, I did not know that didn't happen. I am really sorry. The last one we have is December. Very weird. That should have been out, obviously, at the beginning of this month. Okay. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that, because I did not realize that. Okay, I missed some stuff now. Billbrick says, we have started doing interview podcasts this year, just talking about your journey and stuff. Do you think that's something you guys would be into doing? Potentially. I was, and this comes with, I think, Chris's question, where is the podcast? I have been now for, I don't know, Chris, how long has it been? Probably close to a year. Maybe over a year. I have been saying, we're gonna do a podcast. And I started to organize like how we were gonna do it and what the concept of it all was gonna be, and it just never happened. And then David started the pop the Part Out podcast with Nikki, and he has guests on there, and it's very good. So it's like what I was going to do. I feel like there's a thing in the market, kind of. I would still like to do one very much. I think it'd be very, very fun. Just need to figure out exactly what we want to do in terms of what it would be, and then how to fit it into a schedule. How often, what frequency are we releasing it at, and who are the guests going to be. Another thing I really wanted to do was, instead of just getting people on like a Zoom call or something, I was really wanting to like send them a microphone and stuff so that their quality was higher, and then mail that out to them. They set up the microphone, or they just plug in the couple things that need to be plugged in, and then they can record inside of their little thing I send them, their raw audio and stuff, and then we can have a Zoom type conversation, and then they send that microphone back, and then that has the raw audio. I replace the Zoom audio with that audio. It'll sound much better. Like, I had a lot of plans. I had a lot of things I wanted to do. I bought one of the 2 microphones we needed. It's like, it was so close, but it just never ended up happening. But a podcast was definitely something I really wanted to do. I just haven't got there yet. So, yeah, I'm sorry. David says, just to break in the bucket, sales recap NFT starting at 12,000. Very nice. Soulflame says, since my first passage to the Pick-a-Brick wall last November, I've become addicted to it. I almost went to the Pick-a-Brick wall today. I was like, what am I going to do in a stream today? Paul wasn't going to stream with me, so I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do? And I've actually done nothing. Let's make that clear. I have not added anything. We have these 3 things of monochrome legs that have been put in a VSX file. What a massive waste of time. But I was going to go to the Pick-a-Brick wall, and I was going to get some cups, but I'm like, then I got to do a little bit of research. I didn't have time to do any research to figure out what pieces we could get, and then we didn't technically budget for Pick-a-Brick or like new this month, so then Paul might be upset. I don't know. It was this weird thing. I was like, I almost went, though. I almost went, and I was going to part it out here while I was talking to you guys, which is something I could probably do because I'm not having to count or focus. It might have been easier, but yeah, almost did Pick-a-Brick. I like the Pick-a-Brick wall. I have not been to the Pick-a-Brick wall in a very long time. Your work says just made my day that it's finally coming. I assume that is in relation to the sales recap video. Yeah, I don't know why or what happened there. Because I recorded that and then Paul edited it, and then I swear I uploaded it. Can I see? Hold on, maybe I can see actually if it's one of those stupid things where it's like, couldn't process your video. Because the vlog last week didn't tell me it couldn't process. Like, it did the whole thing for uploading, and I scheduled it and everything. And then processing abandoned. This video could not be processed. That does not make any sense. Interesting. Apparently that's the thing I need to check now. Is whether or not the video actually got released. Very weird. Okay. No, Kyle, I fixed it. I changed it to Minifig. You're gonna have to refresh. Okay, I think we are going to wrap it up pretty soon here. Okay, I did something. No, Kyle, it's Minifig. I fixed it. Soulflame says, I understand the counting is tedious. Last week I filled 4 cups. BrickLink value was 738 euros. I nearly fell off my chair. That was the best haul ever. Was that for 4 Pick-a-Brick cups? Yeah, the problem with the Pick-a-Brick is if you don't do your research, it can just sit in your inventory for a really long time. That's the downside to the Pick-a-Brick, is like, you get a lot of quantity, great value, but if it doesn't sell, it doesn't matter how much it's worth. It's just zero sitting in your inventory. So we have had, you know, we're trying to figure out, and I've done it before. You know, you go look what's there, and then you figure out, okay, what's going to sell. Then you go get that stuff. So I did not have time to do that today, so did not happen. But I think it'd be fun to go get another few pick and break cups, and to add some quantity. And if it sells, it's worth it then. Brian says, do you ever feel it's hard to compete with people who get sets from 75% off retail? I bought sets off a guy just because he has no more room. 70 Seinfeld sets for $40 each. That's crazy. I don't know that it's hard to compete. I just don't understand how they get those deals. Because like if we could get those deals, it'd be amazing. But yeah, no, I don't know that it's hard to compete with them because I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I haven't really like thought about that, I guess, or noticed that it's difficult. You're trying to do 70,000 in a month, Chris? In revenue? Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're trying to say. I saw another 70,000 number up top, but I didn't quite read it. Oh, David says because they hit $70,000 in sales a month. Wait, what is that in relation to? I'm on live chat, so everything's showing. I don't know what that's in relation to. I don't know. Okay, whatever. 70,000 was a tease. Okay, that makes sense. Because I mean, if you could do it, but like that might be rough. Nerd Geek says, thank you for inspiring me to begin my own store as a side activity for my business. Only thing that is stopping me from opening is adding my VAT number. The validation service of BrickLink is not working. Of course not. BrickLink, you'll have to email them probably, and then you have to wait like weeks for the email for them to reply. But that's unfortunate. But at least you're very close. That's pretty cool. Soulflame says, yeah, with Pick a Brick Wall, 17,000 parts. Didn't buy from the store, though. Oh, buy from my builds. Nice. You count them? That's crazy. That's crazy that you count that for your own builds. Build-A-Brick says, I found a brick store tutorial video on your channel. It looked like there were more to come, but couldn't find a second video. Did you guys do this? That could be one that never got released. Or maybe never got made, actually. Brian says exactly, he's selling me sets for prices that make me think they're stolen. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I can't figure out how some people get those prices where it's like, you know, they can sell it for 75% off retail. It's like, well, then what did they get it for? 90% off retail? Doesn't add up. I don't know. I have no clue. You know, we have not worked with anyone that I know of where we've questioned how they've done it. It all has kind of made sense. But yeah, very, very weird that there's that many sets out there that they can, like 70. That's what you said, 70 sets. That's that's a crazy amount. Like, I'm gonna see what the retail on that set is. Yeah, so it's an $80 set. They gave it to you for 50% off. You got 70 of them? That's crazy. Can we buy some? Yeah, like super duper weird. There's 1,326 pieces. So you bought like 85,000 pieces. That's crazy. Yeah, $80 set. You got them. That's very nice. But yeah, where do those people get that stuff from? Because like we need to get that from. I don't know. It's very weird. David is aiming for 20,000 a month by June. Chris says on-site manager is changing. Oh, David was joking about the sales video not being out. Gotcha. I see. Just Bricks is trying to pass 2,000 a month consistently. Yorick says confused once again. Don't worry, so am I, all the time. Brian says, how many people work for a store that does 70,000 a month? Chris says, I would need 15 on-site and 150 from home. David says, I need 50 on-site, 50 off-site, and 10 on-site. Soulflame says, yeah, I counted them all. Took me all day, 10 hours of counting with a few 15-minute breaks here and there. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So Chris says, Kyle, my former manager, has moved up to a better job with another company, doing really well too. All glory to God for him and all that we were able to do. So is Steve stepping into that position then? Or are you bringing someone else in that's like newer? Or is Steve stepping in, you're replacing Steve, or one of the other pickers that you have? Yeah, Dunder Mifflin Brick Co. Where are we getting 50% off? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure either. Oh, David has a good idea. Use a counting scale. That's smart. Did you count them all by hand, Soulflame? Oh, that's awful. 10 hours? That's not worth your time. No offense. Like, that's awful. Oh, Chris says, March 1st we have a new manager starting full-time. Very, very nice. Very cool. Are all of your on-site people still contractors, Chris? Or are they employees now? Okay, let me get a little bit more water, and then I'm going to wrap it up here. I have a few things I need to do this afternoon. And unfortunately, adding minifigs did not happen today. So sad. David says manager should be a W-2. Chris says all contractors. Soulflame says yes by hand. I don't have a counting scale. Is a counting scale accurate on those small pieces? Depending which one you get, yeah, they come in different accuracies. The more accurate ones are a little more expensive. But, I mean, we use it. I don't remember how much ours was. I'm not going to lie. I have no clue. But it would save you 9 of those 10 hours probably. Yeah, crazy. Chris says, I agree. In relation to manager should be a W-2, and Chris said I have provided a growth plan for that role. Nice. Okay, well, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you to the 38 people who are still here, and sorry if this was a very boring stream, but I feel like we had some good conversations and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I have no clue what I was just going to say. I said get? Like, I don't know where I was going with that. Maybe that probably, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you all in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you haven't clicked the like button, please click the like button if you like this. Chris has a great question, Brian, and says, well, how productive is your mom? Interesting. Yeah, all right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all in the next one. Have a great rest of your day or night, whatever it is. We'll see you later.